Robocop is hitting theaters pretty soon, so it's time to dig up some obscure facts about this guy, the OG Robocop.
Your move, creep.
Here are 7 things you didn't know about Robocop. Probably. The new Robocop is a lot more svelte than the '87 Robocop. But did you know that the original version of the costume was so bulky, Peter Weller couldn't even fit into the cop car while wearing it? For any shots where Robocop had to be in the car, Weller is actually in his underwear and wearing only the top part of the costume, which I'm sure is some kind of cosplay dream come true for at least a few of you sickos. You pervs want to learn about another time where Robo's pants are off? Of course you do. We already know you can't drive in the full Robocop suit, but you also can't walk up and down stairs in it. So Robocop is having his own no-pants dance party in the scene where he walks down the stairs into the dance club. I see Robocop as a tighty-whities kind of guy. What do you guys think? The first time they actually shot with the Robocop suit on set, it took anywhere from 8 to 11 hours just to get Peter Weller in the costume, depending on who you ask. To make matters worse, the first scene they had to shoot was the one where Robocop catches the car keys after leaving the shooting range. The keys kept bouncing off the rubber padding on Robo's hands before he could catch them. So, a shot that's less than 10 seconds of screen time took about 50 takes before they could finally get it. Which sounds funny now, but probably had most of the cast and crew in a murderous rage at the time. At this point, I think we can all agree that having to wear the 40-pound Robocop costume totally sucked. But there wasn't just one suit of suck. There were as many as 7 suits used in the movie. They had different versions for the different parts of the movie, like when he's all shiny and new versus when he's looking really beat up towards the end. Plus, they needed extras because the suits were very fragile and would get damaged easily. Like my heart. Moving on. You probably didn't know that Robocop had to be submitted to the MPAA 12 times before it was finally downgraded from an X rating to an R rating. If it had been up to director Paul Verhoeven, one of the most gory and violent action flicks of the 80s would have been even more gory and violent. But hey, that's what extended cuts on DVD are for, and I'm sure Paul Verhoeven had extended cuts on DVD in mind back in the 80s. Speaking of Paul Verhoeven, you probably didn't know that he was the first Razzie nominee ever to show up and accept his award in person. He won Worst Director in 1995 for Showgirls, and since he was already there anyway, he was able to accept the Worst Picture award for it as well. Not appearing, Jesse Spano's boobs. Let's end this episode with a couple Robocop Easter eggs. In the convenience store scene, we have a subtle wink and nod from the filmmakers to the geek universe. In the store, we see an Iron Man comic book as well as a ROM comic. For all you non-geeks, this is important because both of these comics center on humans with cybernetic technology trying to save mankind. Kind of like, I don't know, Robocop!
Drop it!
Another Easter egg comes at the very end of Robocop. Seriously, it's literally after the movie is over. The copyright notice at the end of the credits includes a warning stating that the unauthorized distribution may result in criminal prosecution by enforcement droids. Hey guys, that doesn't include stuff on YouTube, right? Guys, right? Oh, it does? Ah, fuck. That's it for today's episode of Things You Didn't Know, but be sure to subscribe to Cinefix for more kind of made-up things about movies. Thanks for watching.